So today we're going to be solving Hangman in React. And we're going to cover a variety of topics during this particular time. We're going to cover anything from state and props and bringing in files from one place to another. We'll just go into what React is and in general just try to solve this challenge. So I've taught, this is my 5th cohort with Code Platoon, and I kid you not, there has been one person who solved this entire challenge. Take a look right here, Foxtrot Hangman, 0 people. Oh, Echo Hangman. Does this one work? Oh, this is me. Never mind. Delta Hangman. 1 person. Also me. Charlie Platoon. 0 people. Bravo Platoon. 1 person. And this is the solution that he's got here on the right-hand side. I'm not going to show you the code so that we can write it together, but it's just a basic React game. It's a Hangman game, and he's keeping track of everything here on the browser. Like your Chrome in this particular app is holding everything. Like I don't have a database. I'm not talking to any servers. Everything lives here on your machine. So I don't know what word this is. I don't know how many guesses I have. I'm just going to get started. I think to play Hangman is just A. All right, so A shows up. E shows up. I looks like it's not there. You can kind of see the picture has started to change. And I'm just going to do ones, maybe I, O, nope, U, what is A, E, I, O, U, Y, G, H? Oh crap, I'm going to kill this guy. Okay, he's dead. The word, I don't even know what the word was, but it just says that you lost. Let's refresh this, and then we'll try to guess the actual, oh my gosh, I don't know what this is. All right, let's try it again. A, E, I, O, U. Okay, I'm gonna figure out what the word is just because I don't want to kill the guy. So it's the second letter is O. And I know second letter is O. Second letter is O. Is it polyphore or four mast? Yeah, forestman. F. Nope, it's not. It's not that one. Second letter is an O.
For feelingly.
For feelingly, okay. It's not F because it can't be F, yeah. And the third to last letter is an A. Does anyone see anything?
Northwestward.
Last one. Northwestward. Okay. N. Yes, that okay. Nor. Okay, you won. So we're going to be writing this game today, and just off the top of everyone's head, like, what are some things that we need to keep track of? Just like as you're looking at this particular game, what are some things that you need to keep track of?
Looks like guess letters.
Yeah.
The ones that's not in the word.
All right. So let's take some quick pseudocode notes before we move on. So I've npm installed and created React app and everything like that. So let's just come up with some pseudocode steps. So we know we need a few things. We need to keep track of a few things. What do we need to keep track of? What's that? Matched letters? All right, what else?
Letters that didn't match.
Letters that don't match.
And the word itself.
The word. What else?
Letters that have not been guessed yet.
Sure, I'm just going to put all this down. Letters that have not been guessed yet. What else? As you're playing Hangman, it's like
guesses.
Number of guesses. Yeah, total number of guesses before you lose. Okay.
Position of the main.
Yeah, we could, if you really want to. Like again, this guy went all out. Like he got like, I don't know how he got this shadow in here either, but maybe that's just part of the picture. What's that? That's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. Let's just not do this for now. Let's just keep track of it. So I refresh this page real quick. Like we also have to keep track of which letters have been guessed and which letters have not been guessed. So we have all those underscores, right? So we need to say like letters that have been guessed need to be. So it basically means like you have to keep track of the current progress, right? Like how far this person has come so far. So current progress. And I think that's about it, right? So we have the match letters, the letters that don't match the word itself, letters that haven't been guessed yet, total number of guesses, and the current progress. I don't think there's any more to this particular challenge. What do you think? All right, cool. All right, so where do we start? Like, which folder did we start with to start writing this particular bit of code? Source. And specifically which file? app.js. All right, so we have very simple code right over here. Let's just let me kill this server on this side and start this one up here. So npm start. So we have basic code here. We have no constructor yet because we don't have track of any state or anything like that. And we have the render, and that's what's coming out to the particular page. Given that we need to keep track of all of these things, let's start with, we can either start with throwing everything inside of app.js and then moving it out, or we can start by having many different things and moving in. It's up to you.
Let's start in and out.
Yeah, let's start in, and that makes total sense to me. We're going to start inside of app.js, make it this one gigantic file, and then based off of that, like, which individual components can we cut out of it? I like it. All right, so I just got my basic React thing going on right over here. And let's get started. So first things first, what do you think the first thing we need to do is?
First thing to do is figure out, I guess, how we're going to handle the word.
Okay, so we have words. You can take a look right over here. And these are the words that we're going to be using for this particular challenge. So Michael said the first thing we need to do is, given this list of words, choose a random word and then save it somewhere. All right, so I've got all of these words. I will put it right over here for now. And where should I put it? I don't know.
Let's put it above render.
Okay, put it above render.
And we'll make a function called, or actually, let's make our constructor first.
All right, we're going to make our constructor. It's going to take some props. And we're going to super the props. I know I'm going to do this .state equals something later. Do you want to put these words inside of the constructor?
No.
No? Okay, it's up to you.
Just in a separate function.
Okay, so we'll do all words. Takes in no arguments. And we will just we'll just cut all this and shove it here. So return that. How's that? How does that look? So I can call all words. It's a function, and then all that does is just call out one giant array of stuff. Cool. Now you said, so we have all of the words. How do we choose one of those words? And where do we save it?
We can first make a separate function that calls on all words, grab just one word.
Okay.
And set that, and inside of that function, set the state to that, whatever that word is.
Cool. I'm going to say that I can just call that directly in here. All right, so I can say, like, chosen word is going to be, is it equals? Or is it colon? It's colon. How do I choose a random word out of a JavaScript array?
Sample?
I don't know.
Or is that maybe? I think that's
I don't know. Let's take a look. JavaScript. It's not sample. Choose random from array. It might be sample. I don't think it's sample.
No, it gave me like a big long math.random.
Yeah. That's fine too. This giant thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Probably shouldn't be that difficult. Let's grab that and just paste it in here for now. All right, so it says my array, so I probably can just do all words. Math.floor, math.random, my array, and I'm going to change that back to over here. So just to get started, if all goes well, I should be able to set state to a one given word every single time that this particular app loads. And how can I test that I've actually gotten that?
You can go down to render.
Yep.
Render, and we can just do like get the state.
Yep.
What the current state is.
Yep. Console log this dot state. All right. If all goes well, okay, something blows up right here. This dot state, so unexpected comma. I mess up? Let me get rid of this semicolon. Compiling. Failed to compile. All words is not defined. So all words looks like I might need to invoke it, huh?
Yeah.
Let's try it now. Nope, all words is still not defined. Any other thoughts? I mean, I can just do all of the same thing. It's just like possible words. Why don't I just put it inside of the constructor? Like, why did I? Yeah, I could. So I'll get rid of this altogether. Get rid of these. So I'll just call it like, I'll just say all words here. And set that equal to this giant thing. And then I don't need to invoke it because here and here. And let's see if this is going to automatically compile for me. All words is still not defined.
Do you have to do here?
Let's find out. I made one change. It's going to compile. Okay, there's no errors for me. If all goes well, I will go here, refresh my page, open up my Chrome tools. Object with chosen word as caller. So we are choosing at least one of these words. All right, so this is one way of doing it. Again, we're going to start by just making super ugly code, throw it all on one giant page, and then we'll go out from there. Later down the road, I'm fairly certain I'm going to take all of these out of the constructor and put it in its own individual file. Because then then the app is just in charge of that thing, and then there's another file just in charge of the array of words. All right, so we're done with this. So I'm just going to make a little note that we're done. Now we need to figure out which letters are guessed, which letters are, and based off of that, which one matches, which one doesn't match, how many total number of guesses do you have, the current progress, et cetera, et cetera. Where should all that stuff be stored? Because we need to keep track of the game at different points, right?
Right.
So what part of a React app can I keep track of things?
Inside of your constructor of the states?
Yep, just inside of the state right over here. So this is pretty easy. We have a chosen word and matched letters, letters that match, and letters that don't match. So up to you. What do you want to put inside of here?
We can do matched letters.
Matched letters. Empty array to get started, right?
Right.
All right. What else? Letters that don't match?
Yes.
Not matching letters. Love it. So I'm done with this. I'm done with this. Letters that have not yet been guessed. Whatever. You can probably figure that out based off the matched letters and the not matching letters, right?
True.
All right. Total number of guesses you have before you lose. How do I keep track of that?
Should you do however long the letter is?
Yeah, I mean, however long the word is.
Right.
Okay, so we'll just say number of guesses remaining. And we'll set that to this.state.chosenWord.length. Is that how we call a length on something? Let's find out. abc.length. Okay, I don't need to invoke it at the end. All right, and then the current progress. How do we keep track of current progress? Like, I guess, what is current progress?
I guess we could just use an array. And
how is that different from matched letters?
Because the current progress will show the dashes, and if the matched letter is there, then it will replace the dash with that matched letter.
Okay. Do I need to have a separate variable for that, do you think? Or should I just throw everything inside of match letters and make calculations on the fly? Both of them work. It's up to you. Like whatever hole we dig, we're going to have to, whatever bed we make, we're going to sleep in. So you can only make the decision once.
Okay, so yeah, so let's put, keep track of it in the match letters.
Okay.
But then I guess we can just put dashes in place of, no.
So my vote on this is probably, since we have all the things that we need. We have the word that you need to have in order to start. All the letters that they're going to guess are either going to go inside of matched letters or not matching letters. The number of guesses is going to be based off of the length, and then we'll just subtract one every single time. I think we can create a function that basically says like display something on the screen, where it's like I'm going to print out a certain number of like characters, like underscore characters, unless the match numbers are in there, and then in which case I will update them. So I think we have all the things we need inside of state already. So let's print some stuff out to the page. So I'm gonna change this to welcome to React to maybe just Hangman, just to get some small wins out there. Deleted too much. And then inside of here, I'm gonna just say this.state.chosen word, just to get something out on the screen. Something blows up. All right, it says, cannot read chosen word of undefined.
That's because...
I don't think you can call this.state from within this.state.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe we'll just do a chosen word outside of it. We'll call this const chosen word, and then we'll just do chosen word dot length. All goes well. Zyga, electrocardiographic. So we have the word at this particular point. So I think we're good with that. For now, let's just print out a bunch of underscores underneath so we can just see that we have those underscores. Where does that go?
All right, that can go. Well, you can either create a function to do it, or you can just do it right within render.
It's your call.
Function.
Let's do it. So Michael's suggestion is we're gonna create a separate function. We're gonna just have the word up top and then just a bunch of dashes below that corresponds to the length of the word, just so we can get that out on the screen. All right, what do you want to call this function?
Letter spaces.
Letters, spaces. Actually, I'm just going to call this display word. Go for it.
So we can do so you can repeat.
Okay.
So you can just do a variable. So let whatever the variable name is, I guess just call it dash for now. So, and that equals to in quotes space underscore and then another space, and then outside of that other quote you can just do dot repeat, and then you can do whatever the word is dot length or the array dot length.
Okay. This dot state dot chosen word dot length. All right, and then how do I display that out to the screen? So you created a function here. How do I display that out to the screen?
You should be able to do curly brackets. This dot display word dot bind this, or maybe not. Or actually, you may have to.
I think you need to. So we'll try just binding this to it real quick. All right. Do I need to do anything else?
Oh,
So
you actually need to return.
Yep.
Dash.
Nope. Something went wrong. What happened here? Let's see if the console gives us anything. So functions are not valid as a React child. Let's go back. Let's take a look. 1 second. Move this back here. Should we just console log dash first?
Yeah.
Okay. So console.log dash. Functions are not valid as a React child. This may happen if you return a component instead of a component from render.
Make it an object up there, though?
What's that? So it's console logging. This is 51.
Oh, okay. I think.
Put another p tag real quick just to verify that that's not the issue. All right, functions are not valid as a React child. I don't know what that means. Let's take a look. Functions are not valid as a React child. Looks like other people have that exact same question. I'm trying to display. Let's take a look at the answer here. I don't think you can call. I don't think you can just call the function down over here.
Oh, you have to invoke the function.
Do I have to invoke the function? How do I do that?
So after display word, just put parentheses. Yeah.
Let's find out.
Yeah, we should.
Hope you're right. It's even worse.
Maybe not.
Fine. Let's see if I just do this display word, what happens. Okay, so it's there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we don't need to. I actually don't think we need to bind this to it, which is interesting, but at least as long as it works. So let's not console log this. Let's return this to get out. If all goes well, I can refresh this page. I'll see meta politics, and then I will see all those underscores underneath. Fantastic. All right, next thing, what do we need in order to continue this game? We're like 35% of the way done with this.
I guess we need a way to guess.
Yeah, you need a text box, right? You need some sort of input. All right, so how do we, I guess, what HTML element is going to give me an input box?
Form.
Is it a form? I don't know.
Well, form. Well, you can just do input. Input. Yeah.
So the form, when you submit it, it goes somewhere, right? And we're not actually submitting anything. So I think we can just deal with an input tag, and that should do everything for us. So, oh God, let's just grab this and see what happens. Input type equals text, name equals f name. Let's see what shows up on the screen. Nope, doesn't like it. I have too many of those, yeah. Undetermined.
Oh, I ran into this.
Okay.
So you have to put. So it doesn't. So you have to put it in within a div, within another div, because
Okay.
it's not gonna like if you break it up like that. But a way to get around that is if you just enclose everything inside of caret react dot fractions and end that, then it gets rid of all of that.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with the div. I like the div. Still broken. I'm expected corresponding JSX closing tag for input, so how do I get around that? I think I just need to close off the input, right?
Yeah, the /manage input.
I think so. Like that? Mm-hmm. All right, so we have a text box over here. What's next? We got the text box to show up, but what do we do next with it?
I guess we need a submit button.
We can have a submit button. If you do, you want to have the submit button?
Not necessarily. Enter word fine.
Okay, so it's like once they type in a letter and press enter,
We need to grab that value.
we're going to grab that value. Okay, so which event handler is going to? Let's take a look at React event handlers. Handling events. So it looks like we have an on click. On click is one. It's not what I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. All right, so we have on change, on click, on mouse over, on mouse out, on key down, on load. Which one do you think would be a good one?
Well,
We can also do a submit button. It's up to you.
yeah.
You want to do a submit
I
button?
think we do.
Cool. Let's do a submit button. Because I think there's one called on submit,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we'll go to HTML forms. Grab this code here. And looks like we do have to wrap everything inside of a form. Actually, I don't think we do. I'm just going to grab this over here. And throw that in at the end. All right, so we have like guess a letter, and then you press the submit button. I'm going to create a quick on submit event handler. And whenever that fires off, I'm just going to run this dot handle submit. And then I'll create another function called underscore handle submit. I'm just going to do alert hi. So if all goes well, if I just click the submit button, it's just going to alert hi. So something will show up. See if it works. Nothing happens. Let's refresh the page. Submit, nothing happens. F submit, nothing's happening here.
Maybe we do need to
Do we need to invoke it? Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. So that's not doing at all what we want.
What did they do?
Well, it's when I type in any letters and I type in hit the submit button and nothing's happening.
Maybe you do have to wrap it in the form.
I might need to wrap it on the form. Possibly, yeah. I'm gonna wrap it in a form and see where we get.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll just do form. F submit. And then I get that hi that's showing up. But you can also see that it's also posting the entire form. So like, because forms are meant to be submitted, you can kind of see the URL up here is also changing. So I need to prevent that from happening. How do I prevent something from happening inside of JavaScript?
Like prevent default.
I think so. Let's take a look. Event prevent default. Looks like it's a real thing. All right, so it looks like event.prevent default. So it looks like I can just prevent the default thing from happening. I think if all goes well, I can just do E, because an event happens when you hit the submit thing. So I'm just going to do E.prevent default, and then I'm going to alert hi out to the screen. So if all goes well, I submit the thing, nothing happens, but just the hi comes out. I don't want this extra stuff at the end. Cannot read property prevent default of undefined. Do I need to pass it down here? E is not defined. So it'll submit. E is still not defined on line 67. Any thoughts on how do we, so E doesn't work here, Josh?
Oh, I was sorry.
Okay. I think we need to bind this down here. Let's find out. Hi, doesn't go anywhere, looks pretty good to me. All right, so now how do I capture the letter that I've just typed in?
You can make another.
So again, I filled out the form, I submitted it, it's come up here, it's not submitted it because I have this event.prevent default, and I'm just alerting hi. But I just want to, maybe I'll just print out like, you guessed the letter of the law, so that we can keep track that we actually have that letter.
Yeah.
You guessed the letter something.
So you have to interpolate, I suppose, and then it will be E.
Nope, that's the entire event.
Oh, dot value.
That target dot value. So let's see if this works. This refreshes. I type in the letter G, submit. You guessed the letter undefined. Fantastic. Okay. E.target.value. Let's just print out E for now. Object. Okay, I think we should console log. Console.log E, just so we can see how we can get to the letter that the person guessed. So remember, E is the entire event, and part of that event is what you actually typed in. Let's take a look. Got object, no proxy, target, do a value down here. Or we can just Google it. Event target. I thought it was event target value React. Yeah, it's supposed to be event.target.value. Interesting. Let us console log e.target.value for now.
They look like they took
Still undefined.
it looked like they took the actual in that little thing that you just brought up. They took this dot set state value to event dot target dot value.
Yeah, but you're still passing in the E up here, so you should be able to get to e.target.value. So this is an additional step. We're still trying to get what we typed in inside the text box. go back. We'll just do console log the entire event for now. Let's see if there's e.target for now. Maybe it's just e.value. There's an entire form here, and that's not what I'm looking for. So e.value, is that anything?
Is it because that inside of our input tag, we don't actually have a value set?
It's possible. It's undefined here. So you were saying inside of this type, we have a value is equal to nothing?
Right. So we just put after that we just put value equal to just empty string for now.
Let's see if that makes a difference. Now I can't type any letters for some reason. So that's probably not it. E.target dot, is it name? E.target dot name? Perhaps. Nope, it's nothing. I'm gonna just change it real quick. What's it?
Try event e dot current target camel case dot value.
Current target dot
Value.
value. Nope.
All right. That's all.
Okay. All right, I'm going to change a few things. I'm just going to copy this over from the other person's solution. So I'm just going to grab this here. All right, so they have an input type of text. The ref of how I'm going to actually get it is going to be text input, and the max length is going to be 1, so you can only guess one letter at one time. And then the way that they can't get it is they're going to say, I believe it is this dot refs dot text input dot value. Let's see if that works. B, C, D, E. All right, so we have, at least we have it at this particular point. Once we've got this letter, so I'm just going to say guessed letter equals, I'm going to do a guessed letter equal this whole thing. What are we going to do once we have this letter?
Want to push it to our state array or our guessed word array?
All right, so we have matched letters or not matching letters.
I guess we need to see if it matches first.
Okay, so we can just set a bunch of if else statements. So if something, do something. Else if, do something else. All right, so what is the first thing? If the letter that we have is inside of the chosen word, then shove it inside of matched letters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if guessed letter, I don't know, how do you check if a string includes one letter?
Be stuck in my head, but I guess you can just map over it and just compare them.
All right, it looks like I can just do that. Blue will include blue, it'll return false. So, okay, I think that's fairly simple. Let's just dump it right here. So if the original one, so if this dot state dot chosen word that includes this dot, no, it's just guess letter. what do we do with it? If the letter that we guessed is inside of the chosen word, what do we do?
We want to push that to the guest letter array.
Okay, so this dot state dot matched letters dot push guest letter. How do people feel about that? All right. Can I set state directly like this?
No.
No. So what do I got to do?
You need to say set state.
This dot set state, and then that. I think I'm just going to say matched letters is going to be this dot state dot matched letters dot append guest letter. Maybe we'll find out. If this doesn't work, we'll figure it out. All right, so that's one thing. So it's either it's inside of it or it's not inside of it, right? So I think there's just an else here. This that same thing, but it's the incorrectly guessed letters. I believe I called that not matching letters. If this works, I'll be very surprised. What does this say? Unexpected token, comma. Does anybody see anything wrong with the code that I read?
You erased one of your parentheses when you're deleting that dot at the end of this dot set state.
Which line?
Above the else.
Above the else.
Yeah.
If this, so this one is closed off. This closes that one.
Dot set state. There's a thing there.
I do not see what you're talking about.
If you put a closed parentheses at the end of that closed curly bracket above else, it should highlight the parentheses.
line 56. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's see if this recompiles and doesn't blow up. Still got something. Not matching letters. Is it the same thing that I have before? Probably is. Let's go back. Let's see what we've got. A, submit. All right, everything blows up, but we got something. Something happened. This dot state dot matched letters dot append is not a function. So we blew this one up. So if the letter that we guess is inside the chosen word, we're going to set the state of the matched letters to basically, is it push? All right, not matching letters is 1. Not matching letters is literally 1. C, and then everything blows up. Not matching letters that push is not a function.
You got it. Is it because this guest letter, is that a function?
Guest letter is a variable found on 52.
Okay.
My question is, why did this turn into a number rather than array? So let's find out. If I do a equals 1, 2, 3, and I do a dot push 4, what is my result? That is why. Okay, so that is one issue that I found. Thoughts on what to do? And then we'll take a break.
So it's matched letters that's coming back as it.
Well, both of them use the same bit of code, so they are both going to blow up.
Right. Right.
So it's basically this particular code and this particular code are exactly the same thing,
Right.
but it's just not working in our favor. I'm going to say let new matched letters equal this dot state dot matched letters dot push guessed letter. Then set that whole thing here. I wonder if that makes a difference. Let's find out. So I'm going to refresh this page here. I'm just going to type in N because I know it's that first letter that we've got here. All right, so let's see. Matched letters is literally 1, and it's not that array. All right, what happens when I do O? Does this change to 2? No, everything blows up. All right, let's take a quick break so that we're not beating ourselves over the head, and we'll take a look at this with fresh eyes. All right, so I figured out what was wrong a little bit earlier. It turns out that you cannot overwrite state directly. You can't even say, like, I want to push things onto it and then overwrite it. You literally have to, in order to set state to something new, you have to set it to a new thing altogether. Like, not the old version plus, it's literally an entirely new thing. So what I've done here is I've created 2 things. On line 54, so I'm basically saying, whenever I submit something inside of this giant, this form to guess a letter, I'm going to stop it from actually posting anywhere. I'm going to get that letter based off of this.refs.input.value. And if that letter is guessed, if that letter guessed is inside the chosen word, I'm going to actually make an entire clone of the matched letters from this.state. And what I've got here is I've got an array with these 3 dots right over here. And I think one of the challenges should have dealt with this. I think it was ES6 Dragons. But the 3 dots is called a spread operator. What that is basically doing is I'm taking all the stuff that was originally in this.state.matched letters and just spreading it all across this new array here. So I'm just basically making a clone of it. That's really all it is. So again, 3 dots, spread operator, take all the contents like a peanut butter, and just smear it all over this new one. And then I'm going to put from that clone, I'm going to push that guessed letter, and I'm just going to completely overwrite matched letters with this new clone, which is just a copy of it plus the new letter. Same thing down over here. Not matched letters clone, same thing, just spread it. I think this is not matching letters. And then add that guessed letter in, and then not matching letters is going to be not matching letters clone. I'm going to just change this. Not matching letters clone. And we'll just see if this works. So refresh the page real quick. So I've got mignonette. I'm going to go over here, type in the letter M, and hit the submit button. You can kind of see this was state before, this is state now. Matched letters has 1 array with 1 word and 1 letter inside of it, and there's that matching letter right there. And if I go back and I submit Z, because Z is not inside of here, submit, matched letters is array 1, not matching letters is array 1 as well, and those, there they are, M and Z respectively. So we've got most of the work done for us at this particular point. I'm missing 2 things, it seems like. One of them is, how do I update those, you know, the little underscores underneath to actually account for those correct guessed letters? And then 2, how do I basically, well, first things first, when I hit submit, I also want to get rid of this letter in here because I don't want to go back and delete. So how do I clear out that section? I think all I got to do is just do this.refs.text input.value is equal to that. Maybe? It seems too good to be true. I probably am wrong with this. All right, so we have caller. I'm going to do Z, submit, and it goes away. Actually, that actually seems to work. C, and I got that 1 and the 1, Z and C. Okay, so I think that was all I needed to do in order to get rid of that extra letter that was in there. So what do you want to tackle first? Do you want to tackle, like, you have X number of guesses remaining, or do you want to tackle getting rid of these things to actually have the letter? That one, okay. So based on the letter that I guess, and I hit submit, I wanted to populate this right away. So what code handles this, and what do I have to do to it? So it's right underneath caller. So if I go into app.js and go into the render, it looks like chosen word and then display word. Okay, so display word. So if I jump up here to display word, this was pretty easy. It was just like let dash equal blah dot repeat this dot chosen word dot length. I need to redo this. Like, it's not like before it was just get the underscores. Now it's put the underscores and put the letters. What do I do? You can pseudocode it. You can talk through real code.
So the question is, what does the value of dash actually return? Does it return a string, or is it returning an array?
This is returning a string.
String?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can take dash and put it into an array, so split it.
You could, but I'm saying, like, I'm actually just gonna do that.
Cool. Okay.
I'm gonna start over. So I want to display the word. If the letter's there, I want to replace the dash with the letter. If not, I want to have that dash inside of there. So how do I do that? Knowing that I have matched letters and the chosen word, how do I do that?
So we're gonna have to do some type of iteration.
Yep.
So like a for loop. Let I parentheses let I equal to 0.
Mm-hmm.
I is less than the length of the word.
I think I need to iterate over each one of the matched letters or the word. Oh, the word. You're right. No, you're right. You're right. This dot state dot chosen word dot length. Then, okay. So you're basically going to say if what?
It's present in match letters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
it's going to be if matched letters, or if whatever the letter that's chosen that you put in. So how do we grab the value of that?
So you're iterating over chosen words length. So if I have the word apple, you're going 5 times. Right? A-P-P-L-E, yeah, 5 times, right? So I'm basically saying, now I have to have a loop that inside of matched letters that says, like, if the letter is inside of this array,
okay, I get what you're saying.
then I replace it with this, otherwise I replace it with that. So I'm gonna create something called let output equal an empty string, and then I know at the end I'm going to need to return output. So basically what I'm trying to do here is if letter is in matched letters, else something else. Else I think it's output plus equals that. It's going to be output plus equals, I think it's, this is the difficult part. How do I index a string?
Yeah, you have to, I know you can in Ruby, but I think you have to turn it into an array first.
I think you can index a string. I don't know though. Let's find out.
I think you're right.
Let A equal apple. A at 3. I still have it. So fairly simple. I think it's going to be chosen word at I. I still need to do this. How do I see if a letter is inside match letters?
I know this is like a no-no, but can we just map over it?
No, there's a built-in function.
Oh, include.
Yep.
Yep.
This dot state dot matched letters include. Since I'm repeating myself twice, let letter equal this dot state dot chosen word at I. If the matched letters includes letter. Let's find out if this works. All right. Something is broken. It says $sign is not defined. How do I interpolate?
Yeah, I don't think the $sign actually goes inside of the tips.
Like that?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Cool. Just seeing if you're paying attention. All right. Z, bam.
Nice.
B, nothing.
Okay.
So we're getting somewhere. So we're able to, let's just do Y, G, G, A. Okay, cool.
Does it work out of order as well?
What's that?
Does it work if you do it out of order?
Let's find out. There's an F in there, and there's two Fs.
Nice.
Cool. So we did that one correctly. How do we see if we won? Like, how do you keep track if you lost, or how do you keep track if you won? Like, at what point do you want to check? Let's do the easy one. If you win, how do you check if you're going to win?
There's no more dashes.
There's no more dashes, or
you.
Oh, there's no more dashes. No, that's actually pretty much it. There's no more dashes. Where should I do that?
I think you should do a separate function that checks if it wins, and just call that function was inside of every time you guess.
Check winner.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it's just going to be. How do I check if there's a winner?
So we would go back. Well, you can do an if else statement.
I think if I can just do this dot state dot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, it's display word. Oh wait, it's just display word dot includes I think that's it. So I'm saying I'm negating this dot display word includes the underscore. So if there's no underscores, we're good. Where do I check? So I think this is the method. How do I check it? Like at what point do I check? Every single time I hit submit, or?
I think every time you hit submit.
Okay. So we'll set it equal to nothing, and then we will check the winner. If this dot check winner is equal to true, do something.
Yeah.
Return you win. Or we'll just say alert you win. Let's find out if this works. Hopefully I get a shorter word than metapolitics. I'm actually just going to change the word to apple. Nope. Thoughts?
This.
So I've got my check winner here at the bottom. It's basically saying, does this display word include a include this? Actually, well, just for the sake of if sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a check winner if it includes. Oh wait, no, it's false. The other one's true. If your display word includes an underscore, then you know you're not done. If there's no underscores, then you know you're done. So if I check the winner and I say it's true, then I'm going to say you win because there's no more underscores. I think that was my issue earlier. I think I just had backwards logic. So A, P, L, and E, you win right there. We're still missing a few things, but do you kind of get like the idea of like where we're going? There's a few things missing with that I'm seeing right away. One is if you don't enter anything, it's still saying you win. I can't actually submit anything else. That's good. I can't submit. Can I submit duplicates? So I think functionally it's working correctly, but if I type in P again, that array just went from 1 to 2. So you should not be entering more and more letters inside of there, especially if you've already guessed it. I'm probably missing incorrectly guessed letters, and this is how many guesses you have remaining, and those are small, easy little wins that you can just display as well. But does this help in terms of like a larger overview?
It does.
Okay. I would also move a lot of this out of where it is right now. Like everything is in one giant class, which is fine for right now. But I do want to show Mike's solution from, he was from Bravo Platoon. The only person to actually finish it. So when we jump inside of app.js, he's got these 3 things over here, but his first one, he says import words from words.js. So under source, there's something called words, and inside of words.js, he's just got export default with everything here. So he's got one file specifically just for the words. And because he's importing it over here, he can just use it wherever he likes. And you can kind of see he's got more or less the same thing. He's got 3 separate components, one for the display word, one for the input, and one for the wrong letters. Because if you remember his solution, let me kill this server. He's got 3 separate parts of his app. While we're waiting for that, he's got a constructor, super with the props, this.state. So the puzzle, I'm guessing that's the word. He's just choosing a random one, and then the guess letters. Based off of the guess letters, he'll make all of those make all the logic work. So he's got 3 sections. It looks like display, an input, and what else did he have? He had a display word, an input, and the wrong letters. So if I type the letter A, that's correct. Z is probably not in here, so it looks like there's a whole separate area just for incorrect letters that you're going to be guessing. So he's got welcome to React. He's got a giant input. He's got the guess letters that show up in case that you have them. He's got the display word, and then he's also got the wrong letters. So if we jump into this real quick, display word, input, and wrong letters. Display word has one thing. It's just a giant render. So he splits the word that's passed down from app.js Yep. So he passes down the word from app.js into display word and the current guest letters that he's got. So he's splitting it up. He's got an output, guest. He's got all the guest ones as well. And he's basically saying, yeah, either push in the letter or push in an underscore. That's fairly simple. And if his output does not include an underscore, then you write you win, and then you're finished at that particular point. The input, he's got a little bit more going on. He's got a handle submit and then a render right here. Very similar to ours. Whenever you submit the form, he runs the handle submit with the binding of this to it. You have a text input with a max length of 1, just like us. And he's basically saying, I'm going to grab the letter. If it's 0 things, you're going to say, I need a letter. Like you have to type in something in order to submit it. Else, if it already includes it, then you say you already guessed this letter, so you don't have duplicates. Otherwise, I'm going to update guest letters. Now, update guest letters doesn't live within input right over here. You can kind of see that update guest letters is a function inside of app.js. So he's got that clone. He pushes the letter in, and he sets the guest letters to the clone of that, just like we did. And then the same thing with the wrong letters. And I think he set his at 7. And that's pretty much it. Based on the number of guesses that you got incorrect, he's choosing a bunch of kind of fun pictures over here. If you take a look at under images, Hangman images, he's got 7 of them. Starts with that, and then he's just like replacing it with another image. Yeah. It's kind of fun.